there's going to be a lot of you guys doing work, so does everyone have a pen?
I have today.
Yay! Awesome. Do we have any spare pens?
Yeah.
Yep,
Can
perfect.
I have one?
Oh, you're very good with pens.
Same one.
Yeah,
There we go. Oh,
Good boy, Levi.
It's a Jedi.
I know. I love that t-shirt, right?
Oh, it's green. It's my favourite colour.
Okay. So, today's we're going to use a combination of everything we've done, and we're going to look at the self-love and the self-worth thing. So that's kind of the crux of it, right? When we strip everything back, that belief, well, whatever way it's made up for you, whether it's I don't feel worthy, I'm not good enough, no one will love me, whatever it is, it's the same theme of self-love. It just manifests into different beliefs and language depending on how you've been brought up and what experiences you've had, but that's the crux of it. So I just wanted to, I wrote this at the beginning, is that I just want you to have an open mind and an open heart about this, because you will want to resist it, because they're things that have been ingrained in you for a really long time, so you won't want to resist it. What we're going to do today is I'm really going to get you to analyze the truth behind that you don't deserve self-love or that you are not worthy stuff. Now, you might feel that you do feel that, but then if you look at something you're struggling with, I can guarantee you we can string it back to that. So it'll manifest in different ways. Does that make sense? So, okay, this is, thanks, Daisy. Thanks for your input. They're not fighting, by the way. That's how they play. Yeah. That's a Staffy noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Staffy. Daisy! Hey! Enough. Leave him alone, you bully. You're the littlest and the biggest bully out of all of them. And the only girl. Okay. Yeah. So we've established through quantum physics that how we see reality isn't necessarily how it is. Does that make sense? That's a fact. That's science. I've been doing more research this week about it, and it's actually mind-blowing. So Jung as well, I don't know if any of you have studied psychology, Carl Jung talks about this a lot, and it's really becoming relevant, and his, I guess, were more theories, and now with the advance of quantum physics and the testing that they've done repetitively over the last 30, 40 years, it's proved. So the fact that I spoke to you about that experiment where they had 2 atom guns and they shot the atoms, and the goal of the atoms was to go through these 2 holes on like a board. But what happened was they recorded it, obviously, as they do with scientific experiments, and when the scientists were looking at the atoms behaved completely differently than what they did when they weren't looking. So that to me is enough evidence to say the energetic intent I'm giving to something through my thoughts and physical attention is going to change what's in front of me when I'm not compared to when I'm not looking at it. Does that make sense? So they've done this study for the last, I think, 40 years, and the results have never changed in 40 years. 40 years. Okay? So I think, is that a bit of a mind stuff for everyone? Because that really screwed with my head for about a week. I was like, oh my God, I don't know, what am I saying? Is it real? I don't even know if it's real. Yeah? So your intention, your thought, your energetic implementation of what you're seeing is yours and yours alone. 2 people, like the number 6 and 9, 2 people can look at the same thing but have completely different experiences because they are creating and manifesting their idea of reality. And that's all dependent on their belief systems. Does that make sense? So we're going to look today at self-love and fear, because I believe the biggest stuff up we all make when we're trying to lose weight, if we just want to look at it in that terms, but it can be relevant to anything in life, is that when we have that lack of self-love, self-worth element to our psyche, to our belief systems, we always come from a place of fear and a place of love. Oh, Daisy.
That's love.
Yeah, it's love. She's loving him. Can you see them? They're going off
You'll probably be able to see
on the
them.
camera. That's what she does. She's such an attention seeker. Okay, so I want you guys now to just have a think. They say never work with animals or children. Leroy, you just proved that wrong because you've been wonderful. They've proved the animal part right. Okay, so I want you to think about love and fear, the drivers in your life right now. Okay, your desire to exercise, is that coming from a place of love or a place of fear? Love. Okay, cool. Let's look at many of the reasons, because there's many reasons, right? Because we need to eradicate totally. If there's one coming from fear, it will ruin all the loved ones. Does that make sense? So you might go, I want to exercise because I want to be healthy and live for a long time. But then there also might be a fear that I won't be valued as a person or as a woman if I don't fit into a size 10. Make sense? So that one there will just swing everything off. Because that one there will override and make you do stupid SHIT. I'm so good I haven't sworn yet. You'll go back to Steve and be like, Kate said shit.
You just said it.
Not that Steve did. Oh, I did! Damn it.
You won't go to do that for an hour.
So, for example, like every single time I wanted to lose weight for about 10 years, I did it because I was afraid that I wouldn't be loved, and I only knew myself to be perceived as attractive, and I didn't know, so I lost all my weight, and then I put half of it back on, then I lost it again, then I put half of it on and a bit more, so I went up and down all the time for about 8 years, up and down, up and down, up and down, and every time I got back to being the ideal weight, well, it wasn't ideal, I was way too skinny, but I was so driven by fear that if I didn't look like that, then no one would value me or love me. And coming from a dancing world, that I had this belief that if I wasn't under a certain kilo weight, I'd be a shit dancer, which is just rubbish. But that, even though I wanted it for my health, that fear of not being enough and not being able to maintain that weight was so intense that that just caused me to keep going back to square one. Make sense? Because when we go in the brain, I don't want to be, I don't want to put on weight, I don't want to put on weight, I don't want to put on weight. That's so fearful, and that's in focus and the desire to not want to be like that is the problem, because the brain doesn't recognize don't. All it hears is, I want to put on weight, I want to put on weight, I want to put on weight. Does that make sense? So whatever you focus on, if it's a don't, it's still going to manifest into the opposite. Have I lost everybody? No? Okay, so I want you to write down and be really honest with yourself. It may be all love-based reasons to want it. I could be completely wrong. I just know for most people I've worked with, there's at least one or two in there that are fear-based. I need to fit into a size 10 because if I don't, there's something wrong with me.
So what do we write?
Your reasons for wanting to lose weight. Reasons.
How many? All of them?
Oh, as many as you want. There's no rules. I want some that are slightly fear-based. Like, if I'm not. So for someone like myself who has like real father issues, for me, I built my self-worth through being attractive to the opposite sex when I would get to my ideal weight. I'm using really strong inverted commas there. So if that was taken away from me, well then I would become so fearful that I wasn't good enough, because who was I if they didn't value or appreciate or give me attention? Because I didn't exist or I wasn't worthy without that attention. It's that kind of stuff I'm looking at. So this is quite deep, which is why I said you might be resistant around it, but I can guarantee there's at least one there that is not so loving. Did you just laugh now? She's like...
None of mine are loving.
And when you've finished, we finished? You guys have got a lot of reasons, it's great. You can maybe tie them up there.
You're screwed up. Keep bringing it.
Let's just have a quick deconstructive the media for a minute and society.
Oh, they're gone.
They're gone, the dogs. That's good, isn't it? They were noisy. Until recently, there's been no great examples of us, for women, to be our own beautiful. You know, be our own, whatever that means to you. You might feel beautiful at a size 16 and feel that that is your ideal health, and you should be able to. There should be representations of all ideas of beauty. Now, if you're 6'3" or 6'2" or even 6 foot and you're a size 16, you're healthy because you're bloody tall. So this idea that we need to be this one size is so silly, but it leaves us feeling like if we don't fit or manifest that body type that we're not good enough, right? And that's honestly subliminally communicated to you everywhere. Look at, next time you're in the supermarket, look at those magazines that are there to greet you when you're paying. How alarming are they? Somebody's put on a kilo. Oh, bloody Gaga's fat. Yes, she's Jennifer Aniston, must be pregnant. Maybe she ate some gluten and she's a little intolerant, so her stomach's full. Like, seriously! But we're always scrutinising the female body. You know, and so then what is that message that is coming to us as young kids? Now, we've been getting this message since we were kids, but we didn't know it. So what kind of imprint has that left on our psyche and belief system?
Even newsreaders, like when the women get old, they get booted.
Absolutely.
The men are old and they stay on there.
Yeah, Hollywood female actresses, like
Anything, like that's nothing to do with weight, that's to do with age.
And it's the same thing because the body is changing and it's no longer what it's depicted as beautiful because you're not in that youthful.
So if you want to be a newsreader or something, you've got to get Botox and fix your face up and dye your hair.
Yeah.
But if you're a man, you can have the grey hair and
to distinguish.
Yes, you're distinguished, but a woman is then classed as old. Haggard, whatever.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know we're getting into like gender studies topics here, but it's interesting. I think it's important. It's important to look at why, because you don't realise it, but you're being programmed from the minute you're born into the world that you're in. And that, unfortunately, for us as women, is the programming that has been instilled in us in Western culture. So Maggie Gyllenhaal, do you know who she is as an actress? Jake Gyllenhaal, amazing, both great actors. Yeah, she got told that she was too old to play Johnny Depp's partner in a movie. She's 30, he's 50. The actress needed to be in their early 20s. That's the kind of shit that goes on all the time.
That might have been a request from him.
It could have been. I mean, there's so much like sexism that it's not even funny. There's a certain Hollywood star that requires the actresses when they come in to wear a low-cut top or he won't audition with them. Like just stupid stuff like that. So we're constantly being judged on our body, right? Your value and self-worth is strongly being communicated to you on what you look like. Look at all this, the beauty industry. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
But there's another aspect to that.
Yeah.
Like in the sense that women are the main consumers of the world. So they target it purely because we either influence or we are the buyers.
Yeah,
so
but why are they judging it on our appearance?
Well,
why can't we buy it for other
reasons?
reasons?
Then you're gonna, if you have the image of staying young, then you're gonna constantly want to buy because you're gonna want to get Botox because you have to stay young. Because the more that you think that you have to stay young, the more that you're going to keep purchasing.
Yeah. So what does that leave us with our values and feelings?
Shit.
It's totally shit. So they're again convincing us that we need to be a certain way because how we are isn't good enough.
You have to eradicate
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes from the patriarchal society, but I'm not going to get into that right now.
It has come a long way.
It has.
The old days, like
Yeah, it
the
has.
woman was at home making the husband's dinner for when he got home and all that. So
It's
it
way
has come a
better,
long
right?
way, but
Yes.
maybe it's gone too far the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? Like
yes, absolutely, and they're, like you're saying, completely right. They are brainwashing us to consume, and we're needing these products in order to validate our self-worth as a woman. And they prey on the fact that we do spend the money because we're conditioned.
That's why everyone should take your advice and just don't watch the news or TV.
Don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. Do not watch TV. Do not buy those magazines. They are not good. Have you ever noticed how you read them and you start feeling really bad about yourself? Like, okay, this is not good. But you're right. Actually, that is spot on. You're so right because it's like they use that industry to
Because we're vulnerable.
We're so vulnerable. They totally, yes, absolutely. The beauty industry, the health and fitness industry, it's another one, exactly the same thing. Plastic surgery, I don't know if that comes under beauty, I'm not sure. What else is there, guys? We're going to move on from this. Can you just give me a few more examples of industries that... Fashion, yeah, clothing. Yeah, like some brands don't stock over a size 10.
Yeah. Even the mannequins in the windows, like they'll be dressed with the size 6 sample or size 8 sample size, and then at the back of the mannequin they're thin, so that they look perfect.
You're right. You're
and
so
trying
right.
to teach, like I've got a 15-year-old and a 9-year-old daughters, and trying to teach them to shop for clothing for the body that they have, instead of what's in the window and what their friends are wearing and what they're comfortable in and what makes them look good and feel good. So difficult when there's all of this at them all the time.
Yeah, it's hard. It's
Like
hard.
you just want to put blinkers on them and keep them wrapped in bubble wrap so that the world can't ruin them.
Create a commune, just like go live somewhere.
But even young girls,
Joking.
clothing that's for sale for young girls is like clothing that teenagers would possibly wear.
It's true.
So
Exactly. Exactly. The over-sexualization of like the tweens and anyway, that's a whole other thing. I feel like I'm back studying gender studies. Anyway,
back to it.
But it's just, can you see how the point I'm trying to make is it's not your fault. You're a sponge. Your brain's a computer program, and it's been programmed not only through the experiences you've had with your direct family, blah blah blah, friends. It's also everywhere that you look. It's every time you turn on television. It's every time you watch the news. It's every time that you read a magazine. It's every time that you buy into that, you're subliminally being told, so it's consolidating. And then remember we talked about the lawyer, that little negative Nelly voice in their head? Well, it is going to grab onto that and be like, see, new idea said that a size 12 is too fat, so you're too
And the
fat.
worst thing, Kate, is that we then, I know I have, passed that down to our kids. I've got 2 daughters, and Alex especially, because she's more my shape, I've actually passed all my insecurities down to her.
But you didn't do that deliberately. That was, you didn't understand. Yeah. It's the cycle. It's the cycle. It's the cycle. But you know what? You're here to break it, and then you can pass down this to Alex, and then to your grandchildren. And so that's the powerful thing, is that we now have the opportunity to change this. And I think that it's more common now in society for us to have this opportunity, and that's why this is so unique and so empowering, because it can stop here now with you. It won't be easy. It's not going to be easy to make these changes, but it can stop with you. You can be a positive influence for other girls in your life, even the men in your life, like, because they're brainwashed too. Like they don't understand either, so they say things that are really inappropriate, and they don't realise there's anything wrong with it, because that's what they're conditioned to think's okay, because that's how they've been taught to see women, because of society. But we can end it. We can change it, and that's exciting. So now I've gone on a complete tangent. Let's come back to love and fear. So does anybody want to share any fear-based beliefs with us?
If I don't lose weight, no one will find me attractive.
Had that one. The shit one, isn't it? Next. We're going to come back to them. You don't have to, but you don't have to.
You want bad ones or
Bad ones. I want bad ones.
Mine's probably about the same.
Yeah.
And look a certain way for a job.
Yeah.
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 And a lot of mine's punishment.
Making yourself hurt. The interesting thing is, I know you won't mind us talking about you for a second, is poor Mel. Mel's open book. I've known her long enough, and we've had a lot of work together, so we know. The interesting thing with Mel is that she's a living, breathing example of that underlying belief really affects how you see yourself. Because we look at Mel and go, holy crap, man, if I look like you are so hot. But you don't see that. Like you actually, and people go, oh, people are lying when they say that. I know you well enough to know you don't see what we all see. So that's a perfect example. When that belief system or that judge is so strong in your head, it's called body dysmorphia. We don't see the truth. So again, what I spoke about in the beginning, how we shape reality through our beliefs. It's not real. You're a perfect example Like even the bioscan, she has scientific evidence to back up that she's like got no body fat. She's like what 17%, and she still sees herself as fat. So do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. So Jen, just bring that back on yourself and be like, well, am I actually? Let's bring it back to your belief that no one will find me attractive. Is that true? Isn't it interesting? How good is it that we did Byron Katie first?
Yeah.
Totally get rid of those.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop it popping up all the time.
And it won't. But what happens is how you react to it is different. That's a really good point. The thoughts don't stop. They don't come up as often, but they always come back. And it's just how you react's different. It's because it's part of your programming. That old program will still run. It might run in the background, but it won't have the effect on you that it used to. You would just be like, oh, it's my programming. It's actually not true. And then if you have a whole list of evidence, which we'll get to, you can go back and read it. But eventually you'll release it. We're going to do forgiveness work next week, so that will make a big difference. Shari, you don't have to share. We can work around. Whoever wants to share can share.
What if it's the other way around, like the body dysmorphia, so you feel like you're slimmer, and you look at a photo and it's like, oh, that doesn't look like you, like you're bigger in the photo?
Yeah.
So what do you do there? Is that healthy to think that you're smaller? But you're actually bigger?
It's whether it causes you suffering.
Smaller.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable with it. If you probably are smaller, because photos sometimes.
But then,
don't
like,
show-
if I take a photo of me, like I take
You're
a bad
fine
photo.
before you
Like
saw
photos
yourself.
of me, not good. So some people just take bad photos, like unless you've got a professional taking it.
There's a
It's-
pho-
Yeah. Okay. So let's. Is there a problem with it? Does it cause you suffering, or is it just an observation?
Because I'm just not happy with the photo. I just think, like I can walk through and think, oh yeah, I'm like 6 foot tall, but I'm 5 foot. You know, I'm leaner, and then I look at the photo and I go, I'm really just shorter and wider. I was like,
delete that
it's
photo.
like it's telling me the truth.
Yeah. Well, is it just a bad photo, or are you using it to torture yourself? So
No, because it's more than one photo.
it's more than one photo. Okay. So and. It could very well be, I do this as well, like I actually do exactly the same thing because I have put on probably about 10 kilos, but because I have no fear around losing it, I'm actually really struggling with motivating to lose it because I have no fear-based reasons anymore. So I'm like, yeah, whatever, which is really an interesting experience, but I'm the same, but I will then, that programming will come back and I'll see a photo or I'll see video footage and I'm like, oh my God. But then I just go, oh, that's just my programming. It actually doesn't define me at all and it'll just pass. So you need to address whether it is just past programming coming up and it isn't true or whether you actually do deeply believe it. Does that make sense? So is it just part of your programming that you're thinking that when you're looking at it, or do you believe it to be true?
I think I believe it to be true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're having a good day and you're feeling good about yourself, you feel you look good, which is really good, that's really promising.
Yeah.
But then that old programming comes up when you see yourself from an external
And then I thought maybe I'm putting it back to what the, not that I read magazines, but like that's what I should be
You're
looking
judging.
like. I feel like I look how I feel,
Yeah.
but then I look at the picture and think, well, that's probably not like the magazine cover.
Yeah, okay. That's awesome
so
example.
I'm trying to connect that. I feel healthy, so I should be happy with that image.
Is it true
That's
that
still
you
not
need
the
to look
image
like a
that-
lady in a magazine?
No.
Okay, well then let it go.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't want to let it go, do you?
Yeah,
No one wants to let it go.
She wants to
And
fix
you
it.
wanna-
feelings with
That you're
your
fixing it.
image.
Yeah.
Like working
Yeah.
on it.
There's a video I did put in Byron Katie, and it was, did you see in the group, guys? It was, my body is too fat, is it true? And it's a perfect example of everything that you're just saying. You saw it?
Yeah. I watched the next one.
Yeah, you did, that's right, you
How
commented.
did she delete that positive?
Yeah, you did.
Like, you're holding that microphone right, you're doing that right, and it's just like, you took that tissue right, and I'm just like, oh my God.
That's you right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, go back and watch that again.
yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We suffer because we want to suffer. We want to hold on to this stuff because we're self-deprecating. We like to make ourselves suffer. Just let it go. Yeah. Watch it again. Watch it again. Watch her. Because that's it. Everything you just said to me is almost like I just felt like I was in the same situation then. Because it's not true. Who would you be without that thought?
Better. Yeah, good.
How would you see yourself in photos if without that thought?
The way I feel.
Then that's true.
Yeah, next time you see the picture and you get that feeling, be like, nah, I don't,
Yeah.
Go back to how you feel and be like, yeah, no, I own it.
Yeah.
That's what I look like. I feel amazing.
So
I
you
feel
can,
sometimes I feel like that movie with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, yeah.
oh, shallow how? That's so funny. That's so funny. You probably fell asleep, Tommy. You probably fell asleep.
Probably seen half of it. It's boring.
So that's the thing, like it's just your programming. So thoughts aren't meant to make us suffer. Thoughts aren't personal. Yeah, does that make sense? So by going, is it true? If you can say no, it's not true. Well, who would I be without this thought? I would be happy. I would be energized. I wouldn't be afraid. I would look at myself in photos and love myself. Well, then that's your truth.
Yeah.
But you just didn't get that programming for whatever reason, and that's not your fault. But now's the time to switch the focus.
Yeah.
Makes sense? Yeah, go back and watch that video. It's so funny that you watched it and you said that. It was like you were meant to watch it. That's cool. Who else wants to share negative ones, fear-based ones?
Confidence, I always feel if I'm not a certain size, I don't feel confident
Yeah.
to the outside world.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. That make
I don't know where they come from, or
yeah,
I think maybe from my dad as well.
yeah. And can you identify it's not true?
Yeah, because people tell me the opposite at work and stuff like that, but it's that same thing, just
Yeah.
trying to tell yourself.
It's just your programming.
Yeah.
It's just your programming. It's all it is. All it is. Big alarm bells should go off in your head if a thought causes you suffering, that it's poor programming, and it's just got to be, because it's not true. It's not true. Like there's so much evidence to the counter. So much evidence, but only you can have the discipline. Only all of you can have the discipline to change your thinking. I can't do that for you. I can give you all the tools in the world, but if you don't discipline your mind, it won't happen. But the first key is asking yourself, is it true? No. Who would I be without this? I would be this person. That's a new direction, and you focus on being that. It's the power of focus. That's a good one. I've heard that heaps, actually. That's quite regular for ladies.
It's silly that the way you look can influence you've got
Everything.
even your work life, like what you can achieve.
Yeah.
But it does.
It does everything.
And I've come a long way since I've started, you know that. But still, at times, I do bring myself back.
Yeah.
But it's forever surfacing.
Yeah, and that's when you question it. Is it true? No. It's just my programming. Have a laugh and move on. Yeah. It's funny. Don't you think it's kind of interesting how we torture ourselves? I think it's hilarious. Why do we do it? Because we like to suffer. Like to? It's good talk. Okay. Anyone else want to share any fear-based reasons? Can you see that there are fear-based reasons there?
Yes.
Yeah. Big one is being not attractive or being lonely, or they're big ones. They're really big. Being shunned by society. That's a big one as well. I won't get that job if I don't look like this.
Not valued as a person.
Yeah. I used to have a big one, like if I'm not the same, I think fitness industry. If I don't look like X, Y, and Z, well, no one will want to come to my business because I don't look like X, Y, and Z. I don't look like a runner, so I can't run. But there's millions of them. Just start to notice where they are, and I want you to write them down in your phone. Yeah, you'll find that they actually come up. Even if you don't think they're there, I guarantee you that they're there. I don't know anyone who's grown up in the West who hasn't picked them up along the way. They're there somewhere. You've just got to notice them. Okay, so fear will lead to self-destructive habits. If you are led by fear, your results will be short-lived, and this is why we must first always come from a place of self-love to take correct action to see long-term results. So, God, who's done like juice fast? Who's taken Duromine?
I've taken it.
How funny that we actually got given it, right? I was 60 kilos when the doctor gave me Duromine. Speed.
That made me fatter.
Where is it?
Yeah, it's no. I was going to answer you then as well. Like, oh, you just get it from your.
Years ago, I took a pill called Reductil.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah, didn't they ban that?
Yeah.
It's
I
banned.
took it for about 2 or 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
Reductil.
Yeah, they took that off the market.
And the other one,
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but you couldn't, it wouldn't let you absorb fat.
Oh.
So you had to watch what you ate, because if you ate fatty foods,
You poo it
you
out.
actually had to run, because it would
Oh.
go through you.
Wow. So, can we identify these things are not good for our body?
Definitely not.
They're so bad for our body. But that's because we're coming from a place of fear, right?
Yeah.
So if we come from fear, we're always going to do stuff that's not good for us. Murphy doesn't like kids, so I'm just going to get, it's all right, I'm going to get Cameron to move. That's all right. Yeah. We don't know why. He just doesn't like it for some reason.
It's like me for one when I went in.
Kid probably pulled his ear.
Why are you not jumping
I got something changed or something for my dog loves it. Just not used.
Oh, my toes are freezing. I can't even feel my toes. I don't think I have toes.
Frostbite.
So, does that make sense? I'm just trying to think what other stuff I did. Oh, I did Duromine. Oh, I used to take cold and flu tablets as well. There's pseudoephedrine. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get some. I'm going to get one to pseudoephedrine in them though.
They don't anymore, they took them out.
Yeah, so that's why you had to show your license because of me.
Sudafed.
Yeah. So because there's like speed, right? It like, you just don't have an appetite on them. Yeah, I did all sorts of weird stuff. Because I was coming from a fear place. Yeah, so can you see why you need to come from a love place?
Yeah, it's a quick fix.
It's a quick fix because you're desperate to feel better about yourself. But if you felt better about yourself first, it might take you longer, but the results are permanent. Yeah? It's like people go, I'll be happy when I get Well, if you're not happy to start with, is never going to happen because when you get that, you probably won't be happy then anyway. So if you want more, you must be grateful for what you have. It's the same thing. It's the laws of the universe. It's how it works. Yeah? Okay, so I want you now to ask yourself these questions. Can you love yourself now, right now? Can you fully love yourself? Even though perhaps you aren't physically in your ideal body? I want you to write it below and you can read why and why not. Daisy. No running. Don't run.
She'll get you.
Fun, please. Was Murphy okay?
Yeah.
Sort of?
Being restrained.
Restrained. Yeah. It's weird.
Sorry.
He's not tested with we met kids out once and he went mental, so we just didn't want to. Who knows what happened
Is
to
he a
him.
rescue dog or
He's a rescue. He's only with us temporarily. He's great for adults, but it's not kids.
tormented probably?
Maybe. He's from the pound, so who knows what happened to him, but
Do you have some new dogs?
yeah, he's just visiting though. He's temporary until we find him a new home. He'd be great for a retired person, to be honest, on a property.
Which one's he?
The little white
inside
one.
the white
Yeah.
inside?
The dingo looking one that climbed on our roof.
On your roof.
Yeah, that's why I think he's a dingo. He looks like a dingo.
Oh, can.
Yeah. Yeah.
My sister had dingoes.
Can or you can't?
She got dingoes in the
really?
right.
Oh.
She had the pair of them.
Yeah,
Boy
and
and girl.
so
Yeah.
They're unique.
Yeah, they're really, really shy.
Yeah, they're very
dogs.
shy.
They don't like talking to no one.
Yeah, they're super shy, aren't they,
Yeah,
actually?
really
They're
shy.
so beautiful looking. So we're all good? We got that?
What is it?
So can you love yourself now,
Yeah.
even though perhaps physically you aren't manifesting your ideal body? write below and give reasons as to why or why not. If the answer is no, I can't, I want to know why. I was like, I'm not writing anything.
I feel like there's bits of myself that I can fully love. Like I love my confidence and bubbliness sometimes, but like other bits I'm like, no, like I'm not. Nobody finds me like attractive or I'm by myself or just something like
That's
that.
okay.
So
Write it all down. Just a little bit. Just point form. Just write. I like this. Don't like this. 2 columns. I love this. Don't love this.
One of them are staring.
One of them's scary.
No, one of them are staring.
Staring. That's Hercules. It's all right. He won't do anything. He's the one that gets picked on all the time. He's beaten down.
Looking at you going, help me, help
Yeah,
me.
basically.
Child, help me.
Sorry, what be writing down?
Just those questions there. Can you love yourself now? Even though perhaps you physically aren't manifesting your ideal body, write below and give reasons as to why or why not.
That one is
Hard.
It is hard.
It's hard because I'm saying yes, but I don't know if it's what I want to believe or whether
And that's okay. Write that down. Write that down. Today, like, there's not a lot of content, but it's going to unfold over the week. You'll have a very emotional week. There may be some stuff that comes up. I'm sorry. I deliberately didn't put much in this because I know there'll be a lot of resistance. So I don't want to overwhelm you with information when I know that there'll be resistance. You might even be feeling it in your body right now. Might be here. Might be here. There will be some level of resistance. And it's normal. Such a groaner. You're a groaner, buddy. You can't come in. You're too big. You'll not get run over.
You know, sometimes, like, I feel people see me as a fairly confident person, but sometimes, like Virginia said, you've got to fake it to make it.
Yes.
And sometimes, you know, in a situation where I go in all confident because that's my defence mode.
Yes, yeah.
And I come out of there and go, whew, like,
It's exhausting.
it's hard work.
It is
sometimes.
exhausting.
So you sort of, then you, like, they don't see the self-doubt and stuff. They just see this,
butterflies in your tummy and
this confident person.
sick.
And I don't even know where I've sort of got that from to go in and, because everybody that I know, well, that sort of know me, think I'm very confident, very out there.
Yeah.
But people who really know me know that I struggle with that.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's like Virginia was saying the other day.
Exactly the same. Yeah.
Fake it.
Yeah, and that's part of the learning process. Like, that's something you've learned. Like, you know, have you heard the book? There's a book about masks. We have a different mask.
Yeah.
It's one
For
of your
every
masks.
situation.
Yeah, that's one of your masks, and that's okay because you'll get to a point where
I
it
have
will
got
be.
some confidence in some things, but sometimes I feel like I'm meant to be the strong person.
Yeah.
And inside I'm not.
Yeah.
If that
So
makes sense.
is that because you're perhaps believing things that aren't true?
Possibly.
Yeah, because the idea that I'm meant to be X, Y, and Z is just coming. That's not true. You can be however you need to be, but that's a belief you've carried along the way is telling you counter. So then all of a sudden you're torn, you're confused, and you're playing this role, but inside you're hurting because there's some kind of separation between who you truly are and who you're expecting yourself to be. So once you can align those, it should just dissolve. You don't have to be anything. You don't have to be anyone. You can just be you.
I think like this, this last week has been really, effed up.
Yeah.
And I don't know, people don't know me. I've actually got my grandchildren living with me at the moment, 2 young boys, and that's hard in itself. Like, we have to now be parents again and be strong for them, but inside you're sort of,
Yeah, you're dying on the inside.
and you sort of, I go and have a shower to cry it all out and come back and be strong, so they don't see that.
Or do you? Do you have to be strong in front of the kids? Because
Well,
they know
I
that there's
see them, okay, I'll share a bit. My daughter-in-law has some mental health issues, and now it's coming out that there's a lot of drug stuff as well. So I've got the kids, we've got the kids, and yeah, I was telling the 5.5-year-old yesterday that it's okay to be sad and stuff, but I don't want them to see me break down when they're breaking down. If you know.
You want to be their support system for now,
and
just make it
we are
okay for
trying to
them.
be. Everybody says, "Oh, you just got to be strong. You're so strong." I'm going, "Oh my God, I'm melting here."
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm trying to do all this, and I'm trying to stay. And sometimes you think, "Oh, I'll just give up now."
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up.
No, and everything comes as a lesson, and it's really hard to see when you've had so much just thrown at you in an instant. So many, a myriad of emotions, expectations, trying to juggle all the dynamicisms of different relationships at one time is just so much. But you have the strength within you, and you have the skills inside to be able to deal with it, because if you didn't, it wouldn't be delivered to you. You know so much.
You only get what you get,
can cope.
what you can cope with, yes. And we are coping with it, but it's really hard.
Yeah,
and
of course.
it's sort of, you know, my youngest is 23, Sherry's youngest is 28, 29, 29. And so, you know, we've done our child rearing, and now we've got a 3.5-year-old and a 5.5-year-old, and you sort of go, oh.
I suggest that you take up shooting with Shari, and I'm joking. To let out some of that tension.
Maybe I'll send them shooting. But it's just, it is hard, and it's hard, the dynamics of it is hard. Seeing them melting down and stuff, I've actually taken him to the doctors on Tuesday, is hard as well. You sort of, I'm trying to stay strong, and but inside it's just all, you know, getting a little bit too much.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
I know this sounds really strange, and it'll be the opposite to what you want to do, because your brain will be going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Can you just spend 5 minutes in bed before you wake up, and just sit and meditate?
Yep, I can.
Just
But
5
they
minutes.
wake me up.
Get up before them.
I did that this morning. I got up and I had breakfast and sat on my own.
It'll make a big
5
difference.
minutes. I sort of, my downtime is go and have a shower or go and hang the washing out on the line.
Yeah.
And you sort of,
Yeah.
yesterday I had a little bit of a meltdown hanging the clothes on the line, and then wipe my face and go inside.
Yeah.
And to answer to your question, yeah, it's okay for them to see me cry and see me sad as well. And I was trying to explain that to the 5.5-year-old yesterday. Yeah, we all get sad, and you're allowed to be sad, because he's always being told he's got to be a good boy.
Yeah.
But I've changed that to, oh, you're always a good boy. Yeah. Because they are good. They are good kids, but I don't know, it's just...
You need to practice your skills. You like it. Think about it like this. Okay, if you're a warrior, okay, samurai or what are those people? SES or assassin, SEALs, Navy SEALs, all those people, right? They train, they practice their skill set to survive.
Yep.
You need to practice your skills. You need to meditate. You need to facilitate emotions. You need to have, at least if you can carve out 10 to 15 minutes a day, 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes for feeling the trauma, the feelings, the anxiety, letting them out, crying, screaming, hitting, whatever you want to do, and then go about your day. You actually, the thing that'll change is biochemistry, neural pathways, everything will change, and you'll actually, nothing externally will change, but internally everything will change, so how you handle it will be different. You wouldn't go into war without training, would you?
No.
You're kind of going into some level of emotional warfare.
Yesterday we had a visit with Mum and Dad, and that just went horribly terrible, wasn't it? And I just said on the way home, I go, hey, let's go to Fingal. So we went and climbed and went to the lighthouse, and
that was a good break
I
of
just
happening.
sat there and just staring at the waves for a while and thinking, because that's my favourite place in the world, and thinking, oh God. I sort of went a bit blank for a little while, and then realised that kids were running in and out of the water and this current was pulling through. So I said I went into panic mode. Thinking, oh my God, I'm going to lose these kids in the in the current here, but
While I'm meditating.
Yeah.
why I'm blanking it.
Sorry, officer, I was meditating. It just seemed to drift off into the ocean. So you guys, you need to practice your skills. You come to class to get stronger physically. Well, you're not just going to instantly. I'm not saying this is what you're doing.
No,
You're under extreme. This is an extreme example, right? This is massive amounts of pressure right now. But if you're a trained athlete and you go into a pressure situation in a competition, well, you've trained under those conditions. Like athletes will, when we were dancing, we would practice fatigue. So we would fatigue and smash our bodies and then try and perform like we would in a final. Because if we could perform at our best while under massive amounts of physical strain and pressure, we knew we'd deliver on the day. It's the same thing. If you can perform your skills with your mindset under pressure, you got this, but you got to practice them when there's no pressure. So you can't just wait till everything falls apart. I'm not saying you're doing this either, it's bad timing because you're in the middle of this. You can't wait for everything to fall apart and then go, oh, I better do my meditation. Unfortunately, it will help, but you need to do it now. It needs to be a daily routine. You all should be meditating for 5 minutes every morning. Just sit. Just sit. Just focus on the breath, count your breaths. I talk to my guides, I might have a bit of a chat, and then I'll just go into just sit and breathe. If I'm feeling like I need to balance my chakras, I'll balance them. If I feel like I need to just release some energy, I release that. Your intuition knows what you need to do, but you need to sit in stillness at least for 5 minutes a day. Practice your feeling exercises. Do your incantations. It's just like coming to class. You wouldn't miss class and expect to lose weight. You can't miss your mindset tools and practices and expect to overcome your sabotages. It's the same thing. Yeah? Unfortunately, you've just literally been dropped in Iraq right now. You've just been dropped out of a plane.
We can put dancing to wiggles on our.
That's awesome! Dancing to the wiggles!
On our, what's it called? What we've exercised.
Yeah,
the
that's
activity
great.
bit, so.
Heart potato, heart potato.
Yeah, that's the one.
Heart potato. Awesome. That's wicked. Okay, guys, I was going to do a mirror exercise with you, but I then, in hindsight, thought you might kill me if I made you do it in front of everybody, but I was like, yeah, you'd be dead. So I would like you to do this at home.
Yep.
Okay, the first time I did this, I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I was a sobbing mess. You literally sit or stand in front of the mirror, you look yourself dead in the eyes, and you say, I love you. Everyone's like, what?
Really? I do it all the time.
And
Yeah,
who
it's
was the
really
one that
good.
wrote on the
Really
mirror?
good. The mirror, Abby.
Yeah, we
Good.
run.
It's really good. It's life changing. Just that little thing.
It works.
Good. It's really good. It's so
It's
good.
in the guts for
It's
being
so good.
Yeah, so, well, I
Particularly
never
if it's
look in the
not
mirror.
It's sometimes hard.
I just don't look in the mirror. People say, oh, you're going out your hair. I go, oh, okay. I better go look in the mirror. Sorry?
I said I don't shower with the light on.
Perfect. That's perfect. I just was like worried I was making everyone late. Okay. So I just want to then carry on to this is your homework.
Homework.
Yes. I know, as if you don't have anything else to do this time. But yeah, I don't mean to sound harsh when I say you've got to practice the skills, but you've got to practice them. They're not just going to come. If you're feeling off kilter and yucky, I can guarantee you it's because you haven't practiced any. I know if I'm all off and I am having like bouts of rage because I have a lot of suppressed anger, so like sometimes it'll just come up. But yeah,
A couple of weeks ago.
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm doing forgiveness work today, so hopefully I won't be triggered by him. We're gonna do forgiveness next week, but I'm doing it for myself today. Yeah, next week he can come over and yell at me. I'll be like. Like I was last time he came over.
Is that why you want to go shooting?
Yeah, that's why I want to go shooting. Absolutely, we're going next Thursday if Sherry has time, of course. Yeah. This is good for. So I forgot what I was saying. Treatment. How do you treat yourself on a daily basis? And is that coming from a place of love or that you're not good enough? Do you treat yourself well? Do you make sure you have time for you, whether it's 2 minutes a day? I know mums, it's really hard. I fully acknowledge that. Grandmums who like now are mums again, it's hard to carve out time for yourself. 2 minutes. You do classes. That's your time for yourself. That's awesome.
Oh, I've had them there this week. One of them.
Awesome. Great. Great.
And he's
That's
been
wicked.
good. He was
He's a good kid.
good
Yeah,
little boy.
he's the littlest one.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
because
cutie.
I've sent the other one trying to keep his life normal to school.
Yeah.
The school's in Beanley.
Oh gosh, that's a distance from you guys. Holy crap.
Kimberley Park, I don't know where that is. That's near Beanley.
So, and that comes right down to how do you talk to yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you criticize what you look like? Do you point things out? Or when you look at a photo? Or Kate, when you look at yourself on video? What are the, like, I look at these videos and I'm like, I don't even look at them now.
Sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to someone else that I want to tell something. I have to realise that I'm looking at myself when I'm trying to, what I'm saying,
Is
what
going
I want
to you.
it's going to me
Yeah.
instead of the person
Yeah.
that I want to
Yeah.
say it to.
Yeah.
So have to cut that off
Yes.
and go, no, you're great, you're fabulous, man.
Yeah, that's it, you just cut it off. Turn it around.
Turn
Turn it around.
No,
Turn it
you're
around.
fine, not you. I wasn't talking to you.
That's so true. What was that saying?
But I find myself, I've got to stop myself before I'm actually telling myself.
And that's exactly right. That's exactly. You've got to be
Sure.
careful what you say because you are
We want one of
listening.
those
Yeah.
ones that go
And
like
when
that.
you're looking
You are
right at
listening.
yourself.
Yeah,
Make you skinny.
it's scary. So who here thinks that they can solidly say they treat themselves with love and respect like every day, all day? I can put my hand up.
We wouldn't be here.
I
No,
try
it's
to.
true. It's so true. It's so true.
But I have to go to work.
Work, I know, right? Gee, I don't
That's
work.
the
I don't
worst
work.
part
I
of
don't
it.
have a job. I just hang out with people. It's awesome.
Well, you've found find a job you
I
love.
like.
You
Yeah, I
love
love
and
it.
you'll never have to work a day in your
No,
life.
exactly.
That's where you are.
Oh, this is like the coolest thing ever. I get to like film videos and hang out with people, meet awesome people,
Smash people.
smash people, torture them. That was
Yes.
fun the other day at Prescott, wasn't it?
Torture does.
Yeah, so you want to do it.
Actually,
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing that.
Different.
Yeah,
it was fun. Yeah, I made them hold stuff in the middle and like just like changed up the repetitions and stuff rather than just going straight
Oh, I
out.
didn't get that.
Good time and attention.
Oh, good.
It was fun. Yeah, it was great. All right, guys. Who thinks they're 50% there? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, good.
I've fluctuated.
Yeah, and it's relative to emotions, right?
Yeah.
Because when the emotions come, it brings up the crappy stuff that we need to let go. I just want you to make a list, okay, of just, this is your homework, of 1 day's worth of treatment that you've done. So I want you to just have a column, 3 things you've done that are good for yourself and 3 things you've done that haven't been good. So the 3 things that are not good could be, looked at myself in the mirror and went, ugh, that could be one. Had a bottle of wine or some Coke when I knew that it wasn't that great for me. Now, I'm not saying you can't have anything, I'm all about balance, but we're just being extremes here because we need to have a look at it in an extreme way. Because there are some times that having a glass of wine is good for your soul, I believe that. But 1 glass is not really going to hurt you. It's when you then go into a bottle or 2 bottles that's not good for your health, and you know that.
Okay, when you
Yes.
when you ask us these things, the list.
Yes.
So doing things is that to promote us to become more aware.
Yeah.
So like just listen to ourselves.
Yes.
To ourselves.
Yeah,
a lot.
yeah. Just bringing self-awareness to...
Catching us out.
Yeah, a lot of our stuff is unconscious, so we don't even realise we're doing it. Like, you know, the mental dialogue for a lot of ladies, you know, when they're looking in the mirror, oh, you're so fat, oh, that's disgusting. They don't even actually realise that that's happening.
Like you said, asked me about when you say it to myself.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I hadn't seen that one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I just want to bring self-awareness, just because you can then start to see the programming, and when you become aware, well, then you can change it. But if you're not aware of it, you have no power to change. That's all I want to know. That's it. I think like you're all at different stages, but the fact that you're here means you're ready to be aware. For you, your crux is so big and so real. Like the one thing that's holding you back. I really want you to analyze that, and I want you to write down anything negative thought patterning around it that's there. Because I think that the focus of it not happening is causing it to continue to not happen. Does that make sense? I'm so convinced that that's what's holding you back. Yeah, and that's all it is. Because every time here's just before we go. Okay, this is such a good example. You know, like there's a secret and all that shizzle. When we go, I believe that we can create anything, and that's science-based, quantum physics, thought creates energy. When we go, I want to lose weight, I want to be this, I want to be that, that's awesome. But every time we go and check and it hasn't happened and we go into a downward spiral of negative emotions, we actually cause it to move further away. So whatever you focus on becomes reality. So if you're constantly focusing on not getting what you want, well, what are you going to get more of?
Not what you.
Yeah, the opposite. So instead, I know it's really hard, you've got to focus on, oh, well, my arms are getting leaner, that's cool, chest's getting leaner. Shift the focus and just be in expectation the rest will come. It's just going to be a matter of time. It's going to come, it's just, when will it come? It's coming. Rather than going, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. Because then, going, it's not here yet, it's just going to keep getting pushed back further and further. Bye, see ya. It'll never come. Because you get stuck on that rotary thing. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
I so know that that's what's happening. I reckon that you just this close away for it just being not an issue. You can just switch the focus.
I think an issue for me personally, maybe not everybody, that I'm older,
Yep.
is the sometimes unrealistic expectation of how I want to look.
Yep.
And I'm obviously, at my age, I'm not going to look like that. Does that make sense? So, moving past that is, like, I'm happy with where I am now. But
In what regard? Because I'm going to completely be a pain in the butt and disagree with that.
Oh, muscle, like stomach, for example, and legs, and I'm thinking, well, no, my legs are not going to be like Mel's, beautifully toned, because...
It's almost a loss of youth, I guess.
Yeah.
So like the hormonal changes.
The skin.
Exactly.
But you can get surgery on
It
the skin.
doesn't go
Oh,
to
no.
I'm just taking the piss. I'm completely joking.
I'm moving past that to what
to
is
being
realistic.
what's realistic and finding your idea of beautiful and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
That's
your
totally.
20-year-old self. sort of.
Yeah. So rather than compare,
Because
totally
I think
makes
a lot
sense.
of young people probably don't understand that in your head, you feel the same as you when you were
Yeah.
20.
Yeah.
But your
Totally.
body's not.
Totally. But your body changes.
And I find myself
Totally.
comparing myself
Yeah.
to younger
You
people,
know,
Yeah.
not people
Yeah.
Your own
like
age. Yeah.
me.
You know what though?
Admiring people that are half my age.
I'm a-
Ridiculous.
I can't help myself. I'm gonna say this, and you guys can hate me. I'm just
No, just
challenging
say
you. Have you seen that lady who started lifting weights when she was 58 and honestly is now
She's
70?
80 or something.
Yeah, and
Well, the
she's just
84
insane.
Year-old triathlon.
Oh, so
Yeah.
I don't believe it's not possible. It may not manifest for you in your life around your belief systems, and that's okay. But I just will never say that nothing's impossible.
Oh, I don't think it, but I'm sure that the work,
Exactly,
she's willing to
exactly
have
right, and that's the difference.
her life.
For your expectations in your life and the amount that you want it to consume, well then that's going to be your reality, and that's what you're making peace with. But I guess if you wanted to be a full-time fitness model, well then you could totally have legs like Mel. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just
Mel, your legs are-
and that's okay.
It comes back to that, what you said that very first week about our expectations have to match our reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So you don't want to be, your reality might not want to have legs like that. But so it's like the amount of work that you're going to put in. It's
Sorry, Mel.
Sorry, we love your legs.
My
they're
legs.
great.
I'd like to look like that, but I don't have the time to. I have 24 hours a day to put into exercise, and I'd have to do that.
It's desire
So
meets
that's-
expectation.
that's
Yeah.
expectation.
So if you want to say I want to be a millionaire, but you're not prepared to work 100 hours a week, well you're not going
I
to be a
did see
millionaire.
that video.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So we can say I want to look like Mel, but to be honest, I'm not prepared to not have a line, and so that's probably not going to happen, and that's okay for me because I don't really care.
So maybe it's more like defining, I don't want to be like a fitness, like I don't want to be a model in the magazine, but what do I want to look like?
Yes.
I'm not happy now, what do I want to
Yes,
look
yes,
like? but I
that's
don't wanna look
awesome.
like that.
Yes, that's you're beautiful.
what do I
What's
have?
your idea?
Yeah.
Exactly. What am I prepared to put in?
To get
And
to
from
where-
that, what is an idealistic representation and what will make me feel good? That's exactly right. Distance high five. That's awesome. Exactly. Yeah. So I want you to make note 3 things, negative, positive, and also please write me a paragraph or send me a picture of an idealistic representation of what you desire to look like, which matches your expectation for the amount of work you're prepared to put in. Does that make sense?
You know what I'm gonna mind.
Did you see that PT video? Like that thing? You sent it to me. Oh my god. It's like, I want to look like,
I've got a wedding this afternoon at 1.
So you need to be thin for a wedding.
Yeah. So yeah, she's going to be disappointed. That's not going to happen.
It's all the angle you stand on.
Yeah.
We just had a wedding and people in May,
Yeah.
and people go, "Oh wow, you've lost a lot of weight, Helen." And I'm thinking, what are they talking about? Then I looked at the photo that they were talking about, and I'm just on that slight angle in the photo, like perfect, and I look like I'm half the size I was.
It's like you just need to like stick your ass out.
Yeah. And do skinny arm.
Everybody was
taking
That's right. See, for your next photo, there you go.
And that's so he's gonna get ready for it. Let's go make sure I'm ready for the photo.
That's so fun.
We should be all cute.
Well, it's kind of writing. Screenshot that and send it through to me. If anyone wants to screenshot their thing and send it through to me, I'll analyse that and send you back some tidbits as well.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so that last bit, because
The
I've
mirror.
corrected it, you want us to write a paragraph on the realistic
Yeah.
expectation
Of what you want to look like. So the amount of work that you're prepared to put in. Diet and what's realistic for your lifestyle? Like what's your priority? Like if you wanna be a foodie, well you might not look like Anna
So we're
Delia.
gonna write a paragraph
And
again.
that's cool. If you don't like chicken and broccoli, you might, no, I'm joking. But some of them are extreme. And there's genetics that come into play.